So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, introduction. We shall find therefore, what we have discussed up till now was that the living entity's position is to cooperate in, in trying to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So now we'll go ahead. We shall find therefore in this Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of the Supreme Controller, the controlled living entity, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time and karma or activities, and all of these are explained in this text. What is the meaning of complete whole? It is called Param Satya, absolute truth. It is, you cannot remove something from the absolute truth. Krishna is there, the material energy is there, the spiritual energy is there, the jiva is there, his time energy is there. Everything is comprising of this absolute truth. But the source is Krishna himself. That's what is mentioned here. All of these taken completely form the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the supreme absolute truth. Does it make sense? Yes. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete supreme person, Brahmanohi Pratishtaham. What does it mean? It means what? Lord Krishna is there in the spiritual world in Golok Vrindavan. From his transcendental form, there is a transcendental effulgence, a light which is emanating from his spiritual form, and that is called Brahma Jyoti. And within from that Brahma Jyoti, in is like Surya, or in this area, the sun is emanating rays in which all the planets are situated. Similarly, the light which is emanating from Lord Krishna's body, which is called Brahma Jyoti, and that Brahma Jyoti, in that Brahma Jyoti, in the spiritual sky, all the spiritual planets are situated. And in that whole spiritual sky, there's a small portion which is like a cloud, and that is called material world. And within that, we are situated. Is it understandable? Or you cannot conceive? Conceive means concept. Dharan kar pa rahe hain ki nahi? Can you conceive of this point? How Krishna is there? I mean, we don't have a Golok chart here. I could have shown it, but I don't have it right now. Maybe tomorrow I'll try to show it. Then you'll. I think those who have seen the Golok chart, they understand. Krishna is there in Golok Vrindavan, and from his body, spiritual light is coming, and that light is called Brahma Jyoti. Brahman is more explicitly. That's why Prabhupada is telling Brahmanohi Pratishtaham. That means Krishna is the source of Brahman. Just like the sun is the source of sun rays. That is how it is there. Brahman is more explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of the sunshine. Now is it clear? I was giving this example. The impersonal Brahman is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the absolute whole, and so also is the conception of Paramatma. I'll explain this. Suppose there is a mountain. Now, have you ever seen a mountain from a distance? Okay. So from a distance, you don't really see the trees. You just maybe see some snow and some greenishness. But so this is called Brahman realization of Krishna. You're seeing Krishna from a distance. But when you go close, then you see the details of the trees. Still, you do not see the various birds and other creatures which are living, which may be living on that mountain. So now seeing the trees from a closer angle is called Paramatma realization. And when you go further inside, then you see there is so much variety and there are so many living entities inside. So this is called Krishna realization, Bhagavan realization. Another example is given of sun and sun disk and sun rays. When you are looking at the sun rays, that is called Brahma realization. When you are looking at the sun disk, that is called Paramatma realization. And suppose we are so qualified that we can enter into the sun and talk with the personality of sun, then that is called Krishna realization. Another example is given. If you see a train, it's a very nice example. In the night time, all of us have an experience when you see a train, and in the night time you are seeing the train, first thing you see is only light. Okay? And then when it train comes, then you also see the train is there and the bogies are there. It's the next higher realization. And when you actually go inside the train, then you see the people are also there. Is it very clear? Similarly, a person who only sees Krishna's effulgence, he is not seeing Krishna. A person who has realized Krishna as Paramatma is a little further advanced, but he still not realize how Krishna is so is the supreme personality of Godhead who does very affectionate, who has affectionate relationship with his devotees. That is not realizing. He's simply seeing Krishna as Paramatma as controller and sanctioner. Bas. But then devotee, by his devotional service, he realizes Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead with inconceivable qualities. I think it's understandable. Yes. How he's loving to his devotees and like that. So all of them are just like all the three examples. The person is seeing the same object. No, how many examples we give? 1, 2, 3. Yes. So yeah, three examples. So now with these three examples, in all the cases, the person is seeing the same object, but his level of appreciation is different. Is it okay? Yes. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead Purushottam is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. Okay? समझ में आ रहा है? The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Sachidananda Vigraha. Sat means eternal, Chid means full of knowledge, and Anand means full of bliss. And he is the very form of all this. He is the very form of eternality. He is the very form of knowledge. He is the very form of Anand. That's why when a person, I'll explain this. Just like the very form of Surya is fire. Can you understand? Just like the very form of Surya or sun is fire, similarly the very form of Krishna is eternal, is full of knowledge and full of Anand. So that's why a person who begins to meditate on Krishna, naturally his knowledge will manifest. Just like if I come before Surya, naturally, Surya, you understand, sun, naturally my ignorance will be vanished. I'm going a little slow to make you understand. Similarly, if we keep on meditating on Krishna, naturally our ignorance will go away because knowledge is emanating from Krishna. When I'm saying form of Krishna, it means the name of Krishna. Name of Krishna, form of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna, topics about Krishna, they're all Sachidananda. That's why we feel some taste also in discussing it. Many times the same point is repeated over and over again, but still we feel happy. Are you not understanding? The nature of Krishna is also in Krishna Katha. Krishna Katha is also Krishna. That's why the time we spend in Krishna Katha and Krishna, we don't die. Are you able to appreciate these points? So, Hari Krishna mantra, when we chant, the happiness is emanating from Hari Nam. And that's why, as we keep on chanting, we actually become happy. Slowly, our ignorance gets destroyed, but definitely gets destroyed. So once or as our ignorance get destroyed, then we can see things as they are. And when we can see things as they are, then we will definitely do things as we are ought to do, as we are supposed to do. Our insanity will get vanished when this ignorance is vanished by the mercy of Krishna consciousness. The fact is very simple. I do not belong to this world. I belong to Krishna. I should serve Krishna. It's just very simple, yes? Then why are not everybody serving Krishna? It's such a simple point, isn't it? Very simple point. Why do you desire to become IAS? I don't want to hear the answer which you will give because it is not actual answer. Simple answer, you want to become famous. People want to become powerful. But will it satisfy you? Is it anything to do with you? Don't take it otherwise. It has nothing to do with you. I tried to do IIT. It has nothing to do with me. It never satisfied me. And nobody has got satisfied with anything in material world. Please don't take it otherwise. But the idea, I'm serious about this matter, that this actually a fact, the only way we can be happy is by serving Krishna. Simple point. So as we keep on meditating on Krishna, then this knowledge becomes more and more manifest in my heart what I'm supposed to do while I'm in this world. I do not belong to this world, but while I'm here, my only engagement or only service is how can I disseminate this knowledge of Krishna to others. Very beautiful point by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji. He said the only thing which is lacking in this material world is Krishna consciousness. And just see, the whole world is talking about so many things which are lacking except Krishna consciousness. How they cannot see this point. Just like if a person is hungry and if he does everything except eating food, will he be happy? Are you able to understand Murari Prabhu? If you're hungry and I put lot of garlands on your body, will you be happy? Tomorrow we'll do this. You are his friend. Take Lakshmi from me, buy 500 rupees garlands. And when he's hungry for prasadam, you give him garland, 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 garland. You won't be happy, yes? And where is my prasadam? That is the whole point with society. And we become more and more agitated. That people are not understanding because of tamagun, rajagun. That by serving Krishna, you become happy. People don't understand. Are you not noticing? By practicing Krishna consciousness, we become so satisfied. We don't care what kind of roof we have, what kind of clothes we have. Simple, if we can cover our body, we get 2 times prasadam, a devotee becomes satisfied. Are you not experiencing this? Yes, Prabhu. What is the difference between prasadam and? No. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to compare prasadam. I'm trying to say the point. Just like a hungry man can only be satisfied with food, not by garland. And that's all right. Garland is prasadam. That is also purifying us. That is not the point. I'm just saying garland will not satisfy your hunger. So similarly, the material activities will not satisfy the soul. The only thing which will satisfy the soul is Krishna Bhakti. That is the point I'm trying to say. Whether you take garland of food or prasadam, both are purifying. That's not the point. The point is that garland, if you wear, and if you don't take prasadam, you won't be satisfied. And if I'm not happy, I'll fight with people. Do happy people fight with each other? We are very happy. Let's fight together. It doesn't work like that. Yes. Okay, so this is the whole point. What I was all saying on this point of Sachidananda Vigraha, when we associate with Krishna more and more, we become more and more happy. Just like an iron, when in contact with heat, it becomes more and more hot. Yes. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Govinda, Krishna is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause and is the very form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is a realization of a Sat feature. That means a person realizes, I am not this body, I am eternal soul. Paramatma realization is the realization of Satchit. That means eternal knowledge. Eternal knowledge means he is conscious, is Paramatma, is full of knowledge as well as is eternal. But realization of the personality of Godhead Krishna is the realization of the transcendental features Satchit and Anand. Eternity, knowledge and bliss in complete vigraha or form. Now we must understand what is the distinction. Anand or bliss can be experienced by soul only by the revival of his eternal service attitude towards Krishna. I know it's a very difficult English. Just like in this world, the mother serves the child in the capacity of being a mother. That's called Vatsalya. And she gets some happiness. The friends serve each other in the mood of fraternity called Sakhya. So by doing that service in that mood, he gets a special taste. Are you able to understand? The taste which we have with our friends. And we serve each other. We give them, we talk, and we take prasadam, whatever. That inspires us to continue with that friendship or that kind of relationship. Are you able to understand the subtle points? So that service on the basis of that relationship gives us some taste. Okay? So similarly, when the eternal relationship of the soul with the Supreme Lord is revived, and in that mood he serves Krishna, then only experiences the Anand which is emanating from Krishna. It is through service that we can experience the happiness of serving Krishna. I will not say service, but say service attitude. Is through that service attitude, when we render service to Krishna, then we can experience the happiness of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, simple question: do the impersonalists want to serve Krishna? No, they want to merge into his Brahmajyoti. Do the Paramatmavadis want to serve Krishna? That is a difficult question. No, they don't want to serve Krishna. They simply want to see Paramatma in the heart, but ultimately their desire is to merge in the Brahmajyoti. Prabhupada explains in one of his purport. So they also do not want to serve Krishna. Are you able to understand? And Krishna devotees, what do they want? I'll go to Goloka and I'll serve Krishna nicely all of my eternity. So now with that conception, are doing our sadhana. Krishna will help us because this is the best aspiration. And when that devotional attitude is revived in our heart by the chanting and hearing process, then we become really blissful and realize the blissful aspect of Krishna. I don't know whether you're understanding this or not. Understanding my question, my language? Gaur Govind Maharaj used to say, understanding my language? So like this. That means tat sukha sukhitvam. When we have this attitude, oh, by making Krishna happy, I'll be happy. That is the mood of a devotee. He does not want liberation. He does not want his sense gratification. He simply wants Krishna to be happy. Does it make sense? And that desire to make Krishna happy is common in all the rasas, but it is manifested differently as per the constitutional position of a soul. Suppose you may be in Sakhya ras, so you want to please Krishna only, but in Sakhya mood, maybe you are in Gopi Bhav. I just make fun. What maybe I'm a frog or whatever, but I want to serve Krishna in that mood only, and you will be completely satisfied. You don't want to become a Gopa. He won't. I'm not saying I'm not telling you Sarupa. Don't take it like that. I'm just saying by chance, whatever is your Sarupa, you will be fully satisfied in that relationship with Krishna. And Krishna is so nice. You will feel Krishna loves me the most. In whatever form you are, even if you are Rasgulla in a spiritual world, you will feel Krishna loves me the most. Krishna is so personal. You will never feel, now from here you will say, oh, if I become Rasgulla, Krishna will not see me. But you will feel in the spiritual world that Krishna is always with you. He's very personal. Just like when Krishna is sitting with his Govard boyfriends, all of them is thinking that Krishna is looking only at me. It's amazing how Krishna is only looking. Gopis are thinking Krishna is only with me. Krishna can expand, and it's not difficult. When we chant Hare Krishna, all of us chant Hare Krishna simultaneously. But are we not experiencing Krishna simultaneously? You are chanting Hare Krishna does not mean I cannot chant Hare Krishna. So Krishna is expanding himself in the form of his holy name to be with all of us because he loves you also, and he loves Prem Krishna Prabhu also, and Sunil also, and me also, and everybody. And it's amazing, he's such a loving father that he can expand to be with all of us personally. What amazing thing, Are you able to understand these points? You want to say something? Yes, Prabhu.
So the yogis who have realized Brahma, so they get Brahma Sukh actually. So that bliss is there. So what kind of bliss is that?
Very nice question. Krishna is becoming intelligent now. Good boy. You see that bliss is absence of misery. But yes, but not, and that also very amazing. But not the bliss of serving Krishna. An example I have given several times. The bliss of Brahmajyoti is called one drop, and the bliss of bhakti is called an ocean. So you see, be very careful what you are aspiring for, because Krishna will fulfill that. You should always hear this point. The bliss of bhakti is an ocean. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. Bhakti rasamrita sindhu. And we should aspire for that. In this way, we become Viveki. Viveki, you understand? A person of discrimination. Because if we give up sense gratification, only then we can become eligible for this bliss of bhakti. Okay, so we have to give up some effort for giving up sense gratification. Just like you could have watched a TV today or movie today, but you gave up that point to hear Harikatha. Only then we can experience happiness. So I'm saying this because this is a very great secret how to realize Bhagwan. And that's why Krishna says, only by bhakti it I become known as Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is full of who is Sachidananda Vigraha. You must have heard this shloka, but there are so many things to speak about. I'll talk about it and then we'll stop. When Brahmaji is saying this, Ishvaraha Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, who told him this point? Who told him this shloka? Are you able to understand this point? When Brahmaji is the first created living being, so when he's speaking this, Ishvaraha Parama Krishna, who spoke this to him? Who told this? This is his realization. He is not being told by anybody. Krishna is revealing that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Point number one. And Krishna is revealing his Sachidananda form within his heart. That's why Brahmaji is speaking it out for our benefit. You remember we have discussed that Vyasadeva, oh Vyasadeva, you are a lover of Krishna. The pastimes and the qualities of Krishna can be revealed only in the heart full of love. And people like us, conditioned souls, cannot realize this. So you must remember them and explain them for the benefit of conditioned souls. We are knowing it theoretically, but Brahmaji is realizing it practically. It's a realized knowledge, Brahma Samhita. Are you able to understand? And realizing Krishna means we must realize Satchidanand, just like realizing how good prasadam is means experiencing the taste of prasadam, not just theory. Theory is good. Yes, Rasgulla, what is Rasgulla? Rasgulla is like this, it is white, it is better this. Yes, everything is okay, but you must realize this by doing it. So when we do bhakti, our bhakti becomes enhanced, and as the bhakti becomes enhanced, we get this experience of Krishna. Bhakti Pareshanu Bhava. Are you able to understand this point? It's a the shloka we must be knowing, but shlokas has so much deep imports. So, but realization of the personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the realization of all the transcendental features. That means Sat, Chid, and Anand. Eternity, knowledge, and bliss in complete Vigraha. I think, stop here. This is sufficient dose, and try to meditate upon what we have talked about today and try to understand those things. Any questions are there? Maybe I'll check in Zoom. No questions are there. So we shall stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.